Hello and welcome to the second dev blog for DEA-7H, codename Death, whatever you want to call it, the game that I am currently working on. This won't be a very long one. I haven't actually got a massive amount done since the last dev blog. A lot of that has been down to actually making other videos for this channel. I'm planning on forcing myself to do at least an hour a day, or maybe an hour 5 days a week sort of thing from now on, so hopefully more will get done. But I'll just quickly go over what I've managed to sort out since the last devlog video. So as you can see, the game looks more or less the same. However, if we click on a player now, we do have a little bit more to look at. I've started filling in the random information. Obviously it doesn't all quite tie in, like this balding butch looking guy in a jacket does not quite look female. It's at the minute it's just data. I'm not really tying the graphics into the data just yet. That will come, and as you can see, it's different for everyone. It's randomized. There's a big selection of names. There's a customer ID, which currently means consumer ID, sorry, which currently means nothing. It will show everybody you look at as a possible match. If anyone's looking at this video for the first time and doesn't know anything about this game that I'm making, basically you are playing a debt collector and you are looking for a certain person who is hiding from you, and you have to try and talk to other NPC characters and figure out NPC characters. That's a bit redundant. Other NPCs in the game, and figure out where this person is by getting clues about them, what they're wearing, what they look like, because they're obviously in disguise. So at the minute, everyone is going to show up as a possible match because I haven't set up that part yet. The other thing you might have noticed now is that we have dialogue options on the side. Now, one of the quite reasonable complaints about my Ludum Dare entry was that there wasn't a lot of dialogue and it got quite repetitive after you'd asked a few questions, which it was definitely a reasonable criticism. I would defend myself in saying that I only had 48 hours to come up with everything, so again, I think it's reasonable criticism, but it's also reasonable that I did it. In this game, I wanted to have reams and reams of dialogue, so I've set up a system whereby I have just basically a massive array of questions that you can ask them, and then certain criteria. So when you click on someone, it will check all the questions and see which attributes match that particular question. So I've got none of these questions are set up to actually be asked yet. They're just set up to display in the window, but there are generic questions which will show up for everyone, so you'll always have something you can say to a character, like how are you and goodbye. They're generic answers at the minute, and then all these other ones will only be available if they can be applied to that character. So that's a cool jacket, your hair looks stupid, you're a man. These are all questions that can only be asked to this character who's wearing a jacket, has stupid hair, and is a man. Whereas if we look at someone who's not got the same hair and in the same jacket, I'm sure there's someone in like this. So this guy doesn't have the stupid hair question because he's got boring hair, but he is wearing silly boots, so he has this nice boots cowboy question on that comment or whatever. This is dialogue options, not necessarily questions. And then someone like this who's not wearing a jacket but has got the boots, and so on. You get the idea. And then the same thing will apply to the answers for the questions when I eventually get around to coding that part. The answers available will be dependent on who you're talking to, and things like personality type will come into it and things like that as well. So there'll be a lot of variation in the dialogue you get. And one other thing I did dialogue wise is I've implemented a kind of text spin system. But basically, if we look at this down here, sorry, where would it be now? Answers. This text here, basically you have your regular parts of the text, and then in these curly brackets you have different options separated by semicolons. And what this does is when this text is called, it will return a string, but the string will pick one of these options at random. So you could have I am fine, thanks for asking, what about you? Or it could say I am good, thanks for asking, how are you? I am not bad, nice of you to ask, what about you? All the options could be mixed and matched, so that on top of having all the different questions, all the different NPCs and all that sort of thing, each individual answer has got an element of randomization about it, so that you should never really be seeing, you'd be very unlucky to be seeing the exact same dialogue over and over and over again. I'm not saying it will never happen, because I still have to write all this dialogue, so it's not like it's going to be endless. It's not being artificially generated or anything, but it should be a lot more random than normal. And that's pretty much it. That's where we're at the minute. And the next point, I'm going to try and implement the actual system for checking what you know against the current person you're talking to and identifying the target. And then after that, I think we're going to go on to adding environments and stuff, because at the minute I've just got this plain half thrown together environment using some 3D assets from Unity from the asset store, and that's pretty much it. But I don't plan to keep this. I have had a lot of, well, not a lot of comments, but I had a few comments likening this. Well, not likening, that's very charitable towards me. I've had a few comments noticing the sort of similarities in the style that I've gone for between this and The Last Night, which is very flattering. Mine looks nowhere near that good, but I've sort of accepted that those comparisons are going to be unavoidable if I stick with this art style, and I want to stick with this art style, so I'm just going to have to take accusations that I'm copying The Last Night on the chin. It is going to be a very different type of game to what they're doing, and as I say, I highly doubt it's going to look anywhere near as good, but I do want to stick with the sort of pixel art / 3D art style, so that's going to be quite a large process on that, because there's a lot of work involved in that. It's quite deceptively simple. But yeah, that's it. So the only other thing I would say is, at the time of recording this, there is 4 days left, or 5 days. At the time this video goes up, there will be 4 days left to vote on the entries, so if you guys would like to vote on my Ludum Dare entry, I would most appreciate it. I mean, I have had a lot of ratings so far. I'm very grateful for that, and most of the comments have been great, so thank you everybody. If anyone hasn't played it and has a bit of free time, I would really appreciate you playing it. Other than that, that's it. Hope you are interested in this project, and I will keep you updated as we go. Bye bye.